How many times have you destroyed your own progress in 5 seconds of emotion? One disrespectful comment, and you react without thinking. One stupid mistake, and you beat yourself up for hours. One bad mood, and you let it ruin your entire day. It happens fast. It feels automatic. But every time you give in, you lose a piece of control. Not because life is unfair, but because you weren't ready to hold the line. I learned this the hard way. In a meeting, my manager made a passive-aggressive comment. It wasn't loud, it wasn't direct, but it was sharp enough that the entire room knew it was aimed at me. My ego didn't hesitate. Before my brain could even process what was happening, my mouth had already fired back. I raised my voice. I shot back with words designed to hit harder than his little jab. For about 10 seconds, I felt like I won. I thought I had taken back control, but emotions are deceptive. They give you that short burst of power, and then they hand you the consequences. An hour later, HR called me in. What started as a minor disrespect became a formal warning. My professional image damaged. Opportunities I had quietly built over years, suddenly, they weren't there anymore. That one outburst, those 30 seconds of emotional stupidity, cost me 3 years of hard work. Not because I was wrong, not because my point wasn't valid, but because I lost control. That's how fast emotions can wreck you. Not with force, but with your own undisciplined reactions. And it's not just about the big moments. Most of the damage happens in small, quiet ways. You feel bored, so you scroll for hours and kill your focus. You feel insecure, so you lash out and make things worse. You feel tired, so you convince yourself to quit early. You feel anxious, so you avoid what matters. You don't even realize it, but every one of those emotional reactions is a choice. A choice to let feelings run your life. A choice to be controlled. Most people never stop to question it. They think that's just how I am. But that's not who you are. That's just who you've trained yourself to be. By giving in over and over again. Every time you react emotionally, you lose respect. You lose clarity. You sabotage relationships. You burn bridges you didn't need to burn. And it's not because you're not smart enough. It's because you weren't disciplined enough to pause, to breathe, to choose your response instead of defaulting to reaction. That's why mastering your emotions isn't optional. It's not a nice idea. It's a requirement. Because if you can't control yourself, someone else will. Your boss, your triggers, your own ego. Control your emotions or stay controlled. Your choice. Most people don't even realize how many battles they're losing because of emotion. It's not the big breakdowns, it's the small, silent defeats that stack up. You get triggered, you react, and you lose. Every time someone cuts you off in traffic, you carry that anger all day. Your partner says something in the wrong tone, you turn it into a fight. Your boss criticizes you, you spiral into overthinking instead of leveling up. One reaction at a time, you sabotage your own peace. You kill your own focus. You burn through emotional energy you didn't need to spend. And the worst part, you think is justified. You think being reactive is strength. But the loudest guy in the room isn't the strongest. The guy who reacts to everything isn't the alpha. He's the easiest to control because anyone can push his buttons. The real power is in not reacting, in holding the line when your emotions beg you to lose control. But most people never build that discipline. They stay in reaction mode their entire life. And then they wonder why they're always tired, frustrated, stuck. because they keep falling for the same emotional traps. It's predictable. You can set your watch to it. The world throws bait. You bite. You react. You lose. That's how people get played. Not with violence. Not with force. With their own emotions being used against them. You don't need to be manipulated if you're already doing it to yourself. You distract yourself when things get hard. You lash out when your ego feels bruised. You fold when fear shows up. Every emotional reaction is a step backward. And the scariest part, most of the time, you don't even notice until one day you look around and realize how much ground you've lost. Not because life was unfair, not because someone sabotaged you, but because you couldn't control your own damn emotions. You lost focus. You lost respect. You lost opportunities. That's the price of being reactive. It's quiet. It's slow, but it's deadly. And if you don't stop the fall, you'll stay in that loop forever until you make a different choice. At some point, you have to make a choice. Keep living on autopilot or take back control. Emotional discipline isn't something you're born with. It's not a gift. It's built through reps, through pain, through conscious effort, and it doesn't happen in the big dramatic moments. It happens in the small, ugly, uncomfortable ones. It starts when you feel disrespected, and instead of snapping, you pause. When your ego is screaming to react, and you hold the line. When fear creeps in, and you breathe through it instead of folding. That's where emotional control is built. One rep at a time. You don't feel like being calm. You choose it. You don't feel like staying composed. You train it. It's a decision. Every time. Most people never build this muscle because it's uncomfortable, because it feels weak in the moment to not react, because they confuse silence with submission. But holding back an emotional reaction isn't weakness. It's power in restraint. It's easy to lose your temper. It's easy to overreact. It's easy to let your feelings dictate your actions. What's hard is staying in control when everything inside you wants to explode. That's the fight. And most people lose it because they never trained for it. Think about it. You go to the gym to build physical strength. You do reps. You endure discomfort. You push through resistance. Emotional control is no different. You need to rep it out daily. Every moment you feel triggered is another chance to get stronger. Every pause before reacting is another rep in your emotional gym. The more you train it, the more natural it becomes. Not because the emotions go away, but because you stop being a slave to them. Control is built in the decision to pause, to step back, to breathe, to choose a response, not default to a reaction. That's how you go from being controlled to being in control. It's not glamorous, it's not flashy, but it's real. And it's the foundation of strength. No shortcuts, no hacks, just daily reps of self-mastery. Most people never get to feel what it's like to be in full control of themselves. But when you do, everything changes. You stop getting baited into pointless arguments. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. You stop sabotaging your own progress over petty emotions. You become dangerous in the best way. Because when everyone else is losing their mind, you're calm. When they're reacting, you're thinking. When they're emotional, you're surgical. That level of control becomes your edge. People notice it, even if they don't say it out loud. You walk into a room and your presence is different. Not loud, not flashy, but solid, composed, unbothered. You stop being predictable. You stop being easy to manipulate. You become the guy they can't figure out because you don't give them what they expect. That's power. And it doesn't just change how others see you. It changes how you see yourself. You build real confidence, not from hype, not from empty motivation, but from knowing I can trust myself to stay in control when it matters. You make better decisions. You respond with clarity. You protect your energy. You stop losing battles that aren't worth fighting. And when it's time to strike, you do it with precision, not emotion. That's what emotional control gives you. Not weakness, not suppression, but calculated, focused strength. It's the difference between a man who's always reacting and a man who's always in command. And once you experience that, you'll never go back, because you'll realize most of the chaos in your life wasn't caused by other people. It was caused by your own lack of control. When you fix that, everything around you gets better. Not by magic, but because you're finally leading yourself. Your emotions are not your enemy. But if you keep giving them control, they will keep wrecking your life. No more pretending. No more excuses. This is the part where you make a decision. You can keep living in reaction mode, letting every small trigger dictate your mood, letting your feelings sabotage your progress. Or you can take back control. And it doesn't start tomorrow. It doesn't start when it's convenient. It starts the next time you feel that trigger hit, that sharp comment, that wave of anger, that creeping doubt. Right there, in that exact moment, you'll have a choice. React like you always have and lose again. Or pause, breathe, hold the line, and win a battle no one else will see, but you'll know. That's how it starts. One decision, one pause, one rep at a time. And every time you win that fight, you build discipline. You build self-respect. You build power that can't be taken from you. Because when you control your emotions, you control your life. That's the separation between men who lead and men who get led around by their feelings. So here's my challenge to you. Catch yourself once today. One moment where you'd normally react. Stop, pause, choose control. It won't feel like a big win, but trust me, it is. Because that's how it starts. That's how you build the man you're supposed to be. Control your emotions, or they will control you.